Yo, MrJamble here. We're in Apex Legends. I'm kind of gonna show you guys how I practice each and every single gun in this game, one by one. So let's get right into it. We start off with the longbow. I'm gonna show you guys my favorite optics for it. It's the 2x4x scope. Second, the 3x H-cock. And third would be the bruiser. And sometimes I would use a 1x optic because it's easy to hit with it. It is really easy to hit with it close range. But most of the times you don't want to use this gun at close range. You can like go close range and hit some damage on it. But I don't recommend using this gun at close range. It is better to just take it 2x4 times and then you can hit long range pretty easily, you know what I mean? Like, it does a lot of damage with headshots, like a lot of damage. And I like this gun overall, like for maps like Olympus, this is a really good weapon. I think this weapon is also really strong on Stormpoint, but would I use this in like ranked? Not much, to be honest, because it's not one of my favorite weapons to use in ranked. But if you're new to the game and you need the 4K badge, this is one of the best weapons to get a 4K badge. It is really easy to handle too. So there are three ways I work on this gun. First off is headshot shooting. This a headshot of each of those targets you shoot to like work on your precise aim and quickly go into it. There's a good way to it. Instead of aiming straight to him, you have to say sidewards and then aim to it like that. That's basically like in the middle of a fight you don't have time to like no, you turn around, aim, shoot. That's how it always goes like that. Like you don't have time to like aim a lot sometimes. But you can also first work with your aim, like one by one all the heads. And after that you can work on the sideways aim shoot. After you got that mastered, I would use an optic. Use your favorite optic and then shoot to behind targets one by one. And try to do it as quickly as you can. Just precise shots, okay? That's a really nice way to do it. There's another way you can also work on that, and that's just playing Battle Royale a lot with this weapon. But I recommend just try to do a little practice in firing range when you have time. And you'll get a lot better with the longbow. It's a devastatingly strong weapon as a sniper. So that is basically it for the longbow. Now we go to my least favorite weapon, the charge rifle. How do I work on charge rifle? I did not spend much time working on a charge rifle, but the best way is aiming at the target in the back, I would say. Like that's the best way if you're in firing range to work on your charge rifle. Because if you just aim at this thing, it doesn't move. But for the charge rifle, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really work like that. You need to like follow a target and then hit the shot. And if you then aim at like, let's say the targets, they're moving. So you have to like keep on following it. And that's a good way to like work on that. If you instead waste your time on hitting those dummies, it's not helping you get any better with charge rifle. Because most of the times you would like hit people that are moving, and if you only work on your charge rifle at when people are standing still, then it won't work out. Believe me, like it will not work out with charge rifle. That's all I gotta say about charge rifle. Let's move on to the next weapon. RE45, one of my favorite weapons overall. I really like this weapon because it's beginner friendly, it's easy to control. The recoil goes in a straight line up. So the only thing you would have to do is hold your button down. And you'll basically straight up beam everything. Like, it is so easy to hit shot with this game for new players. If you pick up this weapon early game because you quickly need to clutch a fight in the beginning, this weapon might be able to do it. It can one-clip people with a single mag, and I really like this gun. It's so easy to use. There's not much to practice on this gun. It's just going to the firing range and just hit a couple targets. You can maybe go and like hit further targets, but you don't need much practice to use the RE45 because it's so easy. You just need to hold your button down so you shoot in a straight line like that. Like, if you don't do it, then it goes like this, but you can just hold it down and it goes. Like, it's so easy to control, man. Like, it is a joke. That's all I gotta say about the RE45. P2020, my worst weapon in the game. I hate this weapon, I despise this weapon, and I would probably rather attack people with my fist than with this weapon. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. You're in ranked, you drop, and you get a P2020. And you're like, fuck, that other guy has a Havoc and you're dead. But there's always a way out of that. That is work on your P2020. It is not hard to work on a P2020 because, as you can see, I'm not even holding it down. It has literally zero recoil. It's so easy to hit shots with this gun. It is insane. But is it strong? Well, let's check it out. It has 252 damage. That means that you could in fact one-clip somebody with a P2020. To my surprise, I didn't know that before, but recently I just picked up P2020 and worked on it a little bit. The best way to work on it is just shooting targets in the back or just some standing targets to like get the feel of this gun. You can also use a 1x optic because that's really good on this weapon, or you can put on a Havoc optic, which is also a really good optic for on this gun. I wouldn't recommend using the Halo. The Halo just it is not bad, but it's just not my thing. You can use the 1 to 2 time. It's not too bad, and digital is also not too bad. But this weapon, it is a pretty solid weapon if you can handle tapping your finger the entire time. I would say I played with this gun 2 hours once and my finger just died. So I don't recommend people play P2020. But you can always practice it and get better with it and actually do devastating damage with it. Because if I do a golden on it, bomb. 378, that's almost the same as like a Volt. Or it is like maybe even higher than a Volt in damage. Like it has damage, but you just need to like handle the gun. Like I cannot handle this gun, I don't like this gun. But let's move on to the next weapon. R301, one of my favorite guns in the game. This man has been next to me for almost all the seasons in the game. It has always been my friend. The best way to practice with this gun is just hitting targets without your barrel and without your stock. You can put on your favorite optic or even without optic. You aim at the targets or whichever target you want and just get a feel of this gun. It is a really solid gun. For beginners it is really good because if you look at the recoil, it's in a straight line. It is exactly like RE45. Like you just hold it down and you hit every shot. It is that simple. And let's say you want to use your barrel and you want to use your stock because you're like, yeah, in a game I'll use it. Dude, if you use both your stock and your barrel on this gun, you feel like Jesus, man. It goes like, meow. Like if you have it fully kitted, it is just devastating, man. Like that's the difference between using a stock and barrel versus not using a stock and barrel. You see what I mean? Like that's a huge difference. But if you can get the feel of without it, then your feel with it is just incredible. I love this gun. I used it since every season in the game. It has always been on my side. And I just recommend every new player to pick this gun up. Like, it will get you victories, man. Believe me. The R99. One of my favorite weapons to use. Does this weapon have recoil? If you aim at it, it goes in a straight line. In other words, if you hold it further down than the RE45 and further down than the R301, it goes like this. Okay, like you just need to hold it a little bit more down than the R301 RE45. If your R301 and RE45 skill is like pretty decent, then pick up R99 and work on your R99. It is a really strong gun in everything, like every single game mode. At close range, this weapon is devastating. It has a whopping 300 damage without any headshots in one clip of your golden mag. Without your golden mag, it's 220, which is enough to one clip somebody early game. When they have gray or blue armor, just one clip them. This weapon is one of the best weapons in the game. So if you want to get better at the game, pick up this weapon. It will get you more wins. How I practice this gun is easy. Just get it, and in the morning, just a couple of minutes, just shooting targets. Get to a match, pick up this weapon, and just play with this weapon a lot. And that will make you a lot better with this specific weapon. Like other weapons like R45 and 301, if you practice here, you'll be like a lot better in the game. But with the R99, you can practice on those targets, but it will be different in a game. I don't know, it just feels different, because also hipfire of this gun is devastating. Like, it is really good gun. Would I take this gun over the R301? Probably not. Would I take it over the R45? Yes. And that's basically it for this weapon. There's not much to talk about. It's just getting more skilled with this weapon, recoil control, aiming on targets, and picking it more inside of a game, like in a match. And also arena, you can also pick this weapon in round 1 arena and just work on it. Beam kits, get a feel for this weapon, it will get you more wins. It's a really, really good weapon. Oh boy, the car. A lot of people might hate me when I say that this is a hipfire weapon. I already hear the fucking sarcastic background noises. I call this a hipfire or a secondary weapon. I use this weapon mostly as a secondary weapon instead of a main weapon, and the sole reason is, like, let's say I'm just doing an example. I shoot somebody twice with this, and I switch out, and this goes like it just does insane, man. Like, this weapon's hipfire is just broken. I want to show you guys how broken this weapon in hipfire is, basically. Yeah, it is literally like that. And also, if you just hit somebody like once, this is a secondary weapon. You can also use this as a main weapon, just run into people and just do that. Like, it is just a joke. This weapon is literally a no-brainer. You will not use that long range, you would only use that close range, and you would just hip fire. You don't even aim with this gun, like, it is pointless. Like, you will hit less bullets when you aim than if you hip fire. Like, if you hip fire with this gun, you will literally hit more shots. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why with this gun I would hit more if I hip fire than if I aim. Like, it is a fucking joke, man. But there's not much to work on this gun. It's just hip fire the hell out of it. That's all I gotta say about this gun, man. Like, I will never aim with this gun almost, unless it's like a situation where I have to aim. And I will only have this as a secondary weapon or a quick pickup at the beginning of a match. But that's my opinion about the car. It is shit at long range, good at close range, devastating hip fire. The Wingman, one of the strongest weapons also in the game. It is really strong, like 45, 97. Like, that's a lot of damage, believe it or not. So, how do we practice this gun? Well, there are multiple ways to practice gun. There's the hip fire practice, which is basically just hip firing targets. Like, sometimes you can work out with your hip fire, but I'm not the biggest fan of hip fire personally. I don't like the hip fire of this gun, but it has a pretty solid hip fire. But there's also the other trick, which is basically shoot the target, then the dummy, target, dummy, target, target, dummy. So it will be like this: target, dummy, target, target, dummy, target, dummy, and just continue doing that like that. Then the dummy is always up, and you kind of got the feel of it, how you want to move with your wingman. In a match, it can be different, because you might want to maybe take an optic. I recommend using the Havoc optic. It's one of the best optics for the wingman, in my opinion. If you don't have the pay to win skin and you run a regular wingman, I recommend pick up the Havoc and everything will be fine. The 1x optic is also not too bad. Like, it's really good. The 1x optic is really, really good too. Do I like the other optics as much as the 1x and 2x? Probably not, but I rather use, to be honest, like this. I would use this over the Halo and over the 1 to 2 times. That's kind of how I work on the Wingman, and I mostly pick it on round 1 in arena just to flex on people. It's a really fun gun to use. Do I recommend a new player to use this gun? Probably not. Like, to be honest, don't take this gun, to be honest. Just pick up the R201 for instance, would be way better. Prowler, one of my favorite early game weapons, when it still had select fire on it. I could just beam people with this weapon. But right now it is in a pretty good spot. It is one of the best weapons in the game too. And for a new player on PlayStation, this is one of the easiest guns to use. Like, let's be real here. That's huge damage. How much damage is in a clip? There's a total of 280 damage in a clip. So basically you could miss an entire clip and then have 200 plus damage still going on the target. Like, it is a really good weapon. It is really good at close range. It is a bad gun at long range, but if you're close range, you can also hip fire with this gun. How does the recoil work? The recoil goes a little bit up every single time. So for instance, you just need to hold it down a little bit, and then it will go straight up, do an entire shot on the enemy. It is really easy to control this gun, and for a beginner this gun would be also a good pick, to be honest. If you're at close range, you really like to fight close range, this gun is really good. If you have a pay to win skin like this for instance, it is really good. And as you can see, it does a lot of damage really quickly. Like, it is a really quick gun, and people are memeing on it on YouTube that they kill like controller players kill PC players with Prowler and it makes the game stupid. Like, I agree with that, to be honest. Like, sometimes, like, look at it like this, okay? You have a maxed out Prowler. You dish out 490 damage, man. 490 damage? Dude, you can literally just beam people. You have 15 ammo left, man. This is a really good beam gun, man. Like, it is one of my favorite guns sometimes, and I recommend people to pick up this gun if you're on controller. It is a really fun gun to use. That's all I gotta say about how I practice this gun. It's just shooting targets and pick it up in the game. It is not, it is like really easy to use this gun because it almost has no recoil and it goes how you want it to go. So that's all I gotta say about the Prowler. The Hemlok, it got nerfed multiple times because it dealt too much damage and shredded people too much. They increased the recoil of it too and everything. But did it actually weaken the Hemlok? I would say no. And the reason why is 105. You see that? That's one burst. You can shoot 10 bursts with this gun if you have a golden or purple mag. So just imagine if you just hit your burst. If you hit half of your burst, like, you see, it does good damage. And this weapon is not only good at close range, it's a mid-range gun too. And for long range, you can use this and just fucking, without recoil, shoot 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. Like, it is a really good gun. It also has the boosted loader, so you can get like 6 more ammo on it. That's basically 2 entire burst bonus when you reload on the right moment. Is this gun good for beginners? Yes, but the problem is this gun without optic sucks. I know. I think this gun without optic, it just feels weird, man. It is really weird. You really need an optic to make this gun go from fucking C tier to A tier. You really need an optic on this gun. So if you're early game, the only thing you would do with this gun is run up to people and just hip fire them. Because the hip fire of this gun is actually also pretty viable. That's all I gotta say. You don't really have to like train on this weapon. It has literally no recoil. That is the thing. Look at this. Like, I take off this, I take off this, I take off everything. I only have an optic. It just has no recoil. Like, if you aim on a target, it just has no recoil. And even if you miss shots, you would still kill it. Because there's so many bullets in a mag. It's just a really good gun, solid gun. Is it a meta gun? No, I would probably rate this gun as an A tier and below the Archer 1, R99, Wingman and all those kind of guns. But is it a good gun? Yes, it actually is a good gun. Close range, hip fire, don't aim. Long range, single fire. Mid range, burst. And if it's like this, that's like close to mid range, also just aim and burst. That's how I use this gun basically. The Flatline. I have mixed feelings about the Flatline. It is one of the best guns. It outclasses the Archer 1 in damage, magazine capacity and hip firing if you can handle the recoil and work on this gun. It goes in a straight line like this. But it kind of moves a little bit like to the right and then back to the left after like 1 second. So it shoots like this, and then you see that movement, right? It goes like this. And you need to like work on your aim to like go up. Just follow it backwards. So if this goes like that, so it shoots on above. It shoots like above and then it goes like in a loop like this way. So you need to walk inside of the loop backwards to it. Like you can do it like this. Like if you walk like this, it can be doable. Or you walk this way, so it goes like, and you will just hit all your shots that way. If you're on PC, you can basically just do this, like this movement the entire time, and it'll basically just keep the shots in the middle. But on PlayStation, it's just, if you do this, you just cannot hit the target almost. Like, it is really hard to do that, like this movement with the side right. But it is possible to do it actually. Like you can do the side right, left right, left right. It is possible, okay? It is possible. But is my skill high with this weapon compared to Archer 1? No. Do I recommend new players to use this weapon? Maybe if you like to struggle a little bit at the beginning, but wanna have like a lot of treasure in the end. This weapon, solid weapon, really good. I call this S rank weapon. It's really, really good. The Volt, one of the most forgiving SMGs in the game. You can miss a couple of shots with this gun and it will still not let you down. The damage will make up for it. It does a whopping 15 damage on a shot compared to an R99 who does 11 damage on a shot. It shoots pretty quickly, it shoots like that. And the total damage is like 284, I think? No, 285. That's a little bit less than the P2020. Is this weapon a solid pick for a new player? Yes, it actually is. Is this a good beginner weapon in the beginning of a match? Yes, it is. You can even use this weapon in the end of a match. You can use the entire match as a secondary weapon because it is always good at close range. It doesn't matter which map you play. The Volt is one of those weapons that will never let you down at close range unless you get Gaby pushed by a 3-stack that run fucking shotguns. Then you're fucked. But besides that, you'll be fine with this gun. It is a really solid gun. How do I practice this gun? It doesn't have recoil really, so it's just shooting in a straight line to targets. Like it's kind of simple. Like there's not much to it. It's just shoot targets and use it in a game. Like it is really, really easy to control this weapon. Almost no recoil. And even if you have recoil, you can just decrease the recoil by using like a barrel and a stock, which basically just like that. And you will not miss anything anymore with this gun. Like if you have the barrel and stock, you will not miss anything. This is a really good gun. I would rate it also S rank gun. It is a really good gun. The Devotion. I have mixed feelings about this weapon. I think this weapon is shit at long range, medium range, but close to mid range to close range, this weapon is devastating. I hate this weapon in arena because of the turbocharger. It is luckily for us a golden attachment, so you wouldn't see it too much in Battle Royale unless it's in the craft. But the difference between it is that if you shoot with it without turbocharger, it has like a 1 second roundup. Like a wind up when you shoot. But when you use a turbocharge, it goes like... It just makes the entire game a joke at that point. What are the down points of this weapon? Lack of ammo. Huge, huge point for this weapon. Shit at long range. And a 1 second charge up without turbocharger. But besides that, it is a strong weapon. I really hate it if you use this gun, okay? Let's be real here. Don't use this gun for my mental health. Like, this weapon, it is just so annoying. It is good. It is really good at close range, but I really hate it to have it against me. That's all I gotta say about this gun. There's not much to work on because it has no recoil. It just goes in a straight line after the charge, and it's just stupid, man. And even if you miss shots, it is just fucking dumb. That's all I gotta say about this gun. The Havoc normal versus the Havoc with turbocharger. The Havoc normal is, in my opinion, without optic. I like it without optic, I don't know why. At middle range, it is really, like, it is meh. It is better, like, mid to close. Like, in between close to mid range, this gun is really good. Close range, it can be good. Like, there's an enemy, like, let's say right there. You just slide into them, charge up in the air, and just hip fire them. Yes. What you want to do if you don't have a turbocharge is when you slide forward, just instantly start like holding the shoot button. So when you land after the slide, it would start hitting. Or let's say you see a target, you charge up the gun, like listen to the sound. You hear that sound? You want to charge it up right before you aim at a target. So you charge it up and then aim at the target. That's the tip I will give you for this gun. If you have a turbocharge, however, you don't have to worry about anything because it goes like this. Yeah. It is a crazy gun to use. People are underestimating this gun. It can be so fucking painful to have against you if you're at close to mid range to close range. But that's all I gotta say about this gun. Do you need practice with this gun? No. It has so much ammo and it's so easy to handle. You don't need practice use this gun. It just goes like... That's all I gotta say about this gun. The L-Star. I fucking despise the L-Star. Since it came out and got buffed in Arena, they used it for an entire fucking season. It is so annoying, man. It is so annoying. Look what this weapon does, man. He is down. 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 You can... You can just continue doing that the entire time. It is just fucking broken, to be honest. Let's be real here. You shouldn't be able to like shoot somebody then instantly. You never have to fucking reload. Like, what am I looking at? This weapon is still overpowered. So don't let people tell you otherwise. You just saw what happened, right? Like, if that's not overpowered, I don't know what overpowered is. Let's continue to the next weapon. Before we go to the next weapon, I kind of want to say how I practice this gun. Well, if you have no optic on this gun, it goes like this. It has no recoil. I didn't move anything. It literally has nothing. So there's a 1 second gap between you missing and then hitting. Like, if you look, this gap, I'll tell you when the gap stops. Stops now. You see? Exactly when I said that, the bullets will just go straight. Like, it charges up for like 1 to 1.5 seconds, and then everything goes straight in a straight line. Before that 1 second, you can miss a couple of shots, but after that it will just go and you will hit everything. That's kind of the L-Star. That's how I can explain it the best. That's all I gotta say. The Mozambique. They did my weapon dirty. They removed the hammer point, which basically made this weapon in a way useless, except if you're on Arena round 1 and want to fuck over the enemy team with a 3-stack running Mozambique Purple Bolt. What this weapon does is this. You aim. You have 15 damage from this distance. Then you look at this distance. You already hit your entire shot. Hit your entire shot. You kind of get what I mean now, right? It is one of those weapons they use at mid-range to do like 30 to 45 damage. And they just it is just so annoying, man. This is a shotgun, by the way. Like, what am I looking at? What did they do to this gun? What did we arena players deserve to have this gun against us on round 1? It is not a meta gun. It is a meme gun. If you're on Battle Royale and you use the Mozambique, you will get fucked in the ass. But if you're on arena and you're in round 1 and you purple this bitch, then you'll be good. Like, then it's actually good for some reason. So that's all I gotta say about it. Do you need an optic on it? Maybe a one time. It just really strong at round 1 arena. Battle Royale, it's trash, and I call this probably an F rank weapon. It is not a good weapon at all. Do you have to work on or train or anything to master this weapon? No, because it goes in a straight line. Like, I'm not even kidding. Look. It goes literally in a straight line. That's all I gotta say about this gun. EVA-8. I used this shotgun for the last 2 seasons. I didn't use it this season anymore because they nerfed it a little bit. They increased the bullet spread of this gun and it shoots a little bit slower. But this gun is actually still pretty good. It shoots like this without bolt. And this with bolt. That's a huge difference. So you basically need a bolt on this to get the best out of it. But it still does much damage, to be honest. Like, look. 54. 72. And if you go quick, it goes like this. It is still a viable weapon. Do I recommend picking this gun? Not really, but if you have nothing else and you really need to fight, pick up this gun. It might save your life. Do you need practice for this gun? Actually, indeed, you need practice for this gun by going close range to targets and just try to like hold that the aim thing. Like, if you look in the middle of my screen, you see that square, right? Try to hold that like in the middle of that and try to shoot like that. And you can also like go down like bunny, do like this. To work on that, it might be also really good. But besides that, there's not much I gotta say about the EVA-8. It's just not as good as it was before, but it is not bad. You know what I mean? The PK. It has been with me since season 1. It was one of my favorite guns. It went into the care package multiple times. It was a really good gun. It got buffed, nerfed, buffed, nerfed, buffed, nerfed. The spread got nerfed, got buffed. The range got buffed and nerfed. And it is still, for some reason, one of the best guns in the game. For close range fights, for Gibby bubble fights, it is just really good. You just go in, aim, bop. In, aim, bop. Or you just hold it and wait for the corner and they go around the corner and they get a 99 on their body. Is this weapon easy to control? I would say this gun is easy to control if you work on it in a match. Like, it is one of those guns you need to have like this feel of. Because if you don't have the feel of the PK, you'll hit 10 damage, 8 damage, 20 damage. And that will get you killed. You miss a shot of once, 2, and then you're dead. Like, this weapon is reliant on the high damage, quick kill. Like, you go in, you shoot once, 43, 1, and he dead. You need to kill somebody in 3 shots with this gun. I would say the minimum amount of shots you need to shoot to kill somebody is 3 shots. If you cannot kill a person in 3 shots with this weapon, throw it away. Or just shoot once with it and then go to a secondary. For instance, a Prowler. You go in, you shoot once, secondary, and then beam him. Like, there's like multiple options for this gun. It is a secondary weapon, it is not a main weapon. It is probably, in my opinion, the strongest shotgun out there on PlayStation, together with the Mastiff. We'll get to the Mastiff after this, but this weapon is solid, high damage, really good shotgun. I would use the shotgun if I play a Gibby and I have to bow fight. Or if I play Raid and I wanna maybe flank or hold a position or try to keep somebody out like it has a lot of range. Like you can shoot people from this distance and still do like the full amount of damage. Like, you know what I mean? Like it has range. It is a gun that has range with its shot. Okay, so this weapon, S rank weapon, straight up, really good. Mastiff. People call this weapon currently the best shotgun in the game. And I personally disagree, because I like the PK more than the Mastiff. But there are people really good with the Mastiff, so I cannot say too much about it, because one of my friends is so good with the Mastiff, man. He's just frying people up. It does good damage. 88, 84. How much is a full headshot in damage? Over 100. So it is still possible to do over 100 damage, but you need to be aware that if they have a golden helmet or purple helmet, the damage will be way lower. It will be like 80 or something headshot. Like, this weapon is good if you hit your shots, but that's basically every weapon. Do you really need practice for this weapon? Not really, because you just need to aim, shoot, aim, shoot. When it goes up, don't shoot again. Like, I recommend people, when it goes up when you aim, shoot when it goes down. And if you hip fire, you can just like shoot whenever you can. Like with hip fire, this goes a lot quicker. But you need to be more precise with this gun and try to like utilize those headshots whenever you can. This is one of those end game weapons, not early weapons, but if you have it early on and you basically shotgun somebody like this, you can just switch out and use like your secondary weapon, for instance, and then beam them to death. Like, just a single shot of this is really good. Also, when you're fighting on zip lines, like for instance in World's Edge, there are the zip lines in buildings, it goes up and down or whatever. I see many people use this shotgun and make full use out of the range of motion they have with the shotgun and the damage the shotgun have to like quickly shoot. And you can also quickly reload back. Like, look at my ammo. That's because they added the dual shell. We basically get 2 ammo every time you reload, and that makes the shotgun a lot quicker than most of the other shotguns, and that's why they call this the best shotgun in the game currently. I would rate this shotgun also NES ranked. I don't really expect new players to do super well with this gun, but still pick it up whenever you can as a secondary weapon. It is a really good close range weapon. That's all I gotta say about this gun. Next up, the BOCEK. Have you ever felt like being in Hawkeye? Well, you can be Hawkeye in Apex Legends. It does 105 headshot damage, which would be about 89 or something with the golden or purple helmet on. So it does devastating damage. It is a really good long range weapon. It does 60 damage every single shot. Body shot. It doesn't matter where you hit them. Like, you can hit their feet and it does like 54. Arm 60. Head 100. And if you hit their dick, then it does 54 for some reason. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Is this weapon fun to use? Yes, it is fun to use. Don't use shatter caps. If you use this weapon, use Deadeye's Tempo. What Deadeye's Tempo does is, when you aim and shoot, you see like a blue bar. Look at this. 3, 2, 1. Like, the blue bars inside of the aiming, so you can shoot quicker. Like, the best way to explain it is this. You see that those 2 dots in my aim? If you shoot once, it shows us once. But if you continue doing this, here, now you have 3. Now I have 3. This is the quickest you can shoot. That's what Deadeye's Tempo does. So you can quickly like it is really, really good to have Deadeye's Tempo on a bow. Shatter caps make the bow trash. And do I recommend this weapon for new players? No, not really. Unless you want to meme and be a Hawkeye. then sure, pick up this weapon. You can literally find it everywhere, and you can literally craft the ammo for this gun, and then you'll be good for the entire game. You just need to craft it once, then you get 64 out of it. Really, really good gun. Well, it is not a gun, it is more like a fucking bow, man, but I just call everything in this game a gun, but it is a good weapon if you can handle it. Like, I don't have much to say about this gun, well, weapon. I'll rate it A rank. I will say this is not an S rank weapon, but it is an A rank in my opinion. It is pretty good. That's all I gotta say about it. How I practice this weapon is hip firing targets. So how I practice this weapon is without Deadeye's tempo and without optic, and just start with hip firing them. So how I practice this weapon is just don't have an optic, don't have Deadeye's tempo, and just hip fire them. There are two ways to hip fire. You can hip fire like this, and you can hip fire like this, like an actual Hawkeye that goes like this. But you will mostly just stand up instead of crouch shoot, cause that is just a lot better. The hip fire is straight, it goes in a straight line, but you see, look at the indicator. Now it's blue, right? So when the indicator is still white like this, then it has more recoil, so it goes like this. And it does less damage. But if you wait for a fully charged shot, then it goes straight and deals more damage. The tip that I give you with this is use a good optic. The best optic is the Ranger, and the second best would be the Bruiser. The Bruiser is really good, it makes it easier to aim with this weapon. And that's all I gotta say about it. There's not much I can teach you about this, since I barely ever use BOCEK, but that's all I know about it. Kraber. It is one of the weapons in this game which people use to flex on people by one-shotting them, do trick shots with this weapon, or just literally obliterate people with this weapon. The damage is insane on this weapon. It's a one-shot headshot. Body shot is about 150 damage. Like, it is just insane damage. It is a care package weapon, so you might not see it that often. I mostly don't even see this in the match. But look at this. 143. There's no escaping that damage. The only thing people could do to block it is use a LongBow ultimate. A LongBow ultimate can in fact block a Kraber shot. A Rampart wall can in fact block a Kraber shot. And you can also use your Gaby bubble to block the shot. You can use a Bangalore smoke and then maybe put off somebody else with his aim, and then it will not hit you. Those are the only ways to counter this. There is not much you can counter about this gun. It does so much damage. The hip fire is not always straight if you're like too far away from the target, but it's so easy to hit them. You should have dot in the middle of your screen. Like, let's say the dot is like right on them. If it's like right on them and you shoot, it just instantly goes. It is so quick. It is quick, deadly, high damage. It is really not that hard to use this gun. Sometimes I miss, sometimes I don't, but whenever I hit, I know that that enemy that got hit is fucked. Okay? Whoever you hit with this gun is fucked. They're out of the fight or they're knocked on the ground. This is one of the two. If you really want to have a quick fight, hit somebody with this gun, focus the other two, or when you have that person knocked, still focus the other two. But there's not much practice that goes through this weapon. It's just quick scoping. There's not much I gotta say about this weapon with practice. It goes straight to the dot. Like, if you're close range and you're at the dot, it just goes to the dot. If you're in close to mid range like this, you just need to have the dot on the enemy and just quickly hip fire. On long range, I recommend not pulling this in and rather out, because then it's like easy to hit. There's not much more than that I can say about this gun. You can practice hip fires in firing range. and you can practice a couple of shots, like having precise aim with this gun. Like you can look for the left, right, like you just need to get like the feel of it, you know what I mean? Like this weapon is pretty difficult to start off with and master, but when you master this gun, when you can master this gun and you have it in your hands, you'll literally fuck people. That's all I gotta say about the Kraber. If I have to give the Kraber a rating, I would give it an S rank. That is just literally how good this weapon is. Just having the ability to one-shot somebody, getting them out of the fight, or just hitting them and still getting them out of the fight is just so big in this quick fight game. Like it is so quick. Like some gunfights are so quick, you can blink an eye and it's over. Like it's insane how strong the Kraber is, and I personally think it should be removed, but that's just my opinion. G7 Scout. The G7 Scout has been with me since season 1 when there was still double tap. Now it's a care package weapon and it has double tap. 72, 144. That's insane damage if you hit your shots. But how we know the G7 Scout is just shoot him semi-automatic like that. That's how we know the G7 Scout, just like that. That's how we personally know this gun. It is one of my all-time favorite guns. It has been with me since season 1. It has been through me through all my 1000+ wins in arena. This weapon has helped me get a 100 win streak in arena. That's how good this gun is. I call it an SS rank gun in my opinion. It doesn't have recoil. It does a lot of damage. Close, mid-range, close range. You just go. Like it is just a really good gun. There's not much more I can say about it. It is good at long range, mid range, close to mid range, and close range. That's all I gotta say about it. The Alternator. It has been a long journey. The Alternator was also, like the G7 Scout and the R301, always at my side. I could always rely on this gun. But now they made the care package weapon and they added disruptor rounds back from like the early seasons. I don't like disruptor rounds. I just want to have this gun normal and just play it in arena again or battle royale. I just miss this gun. I really miss this gun without disruptor rounds. Disruptor rounds, what it does is it shatters somebody's armor really quickly. And after that it does less damage. Like 16 damage. 33. It goes from 22 body shots, 32 headshot. It goes to 16 damage right after the armor breaks. So it is a devastating gun. I would say this is also an SS rank gun currently with disruptor rounds. It is pretty broken, but you can counter it also pretty easily because if you're like really close, actually you can't really counter this gun too much because like even in close range, it just annihilates people. It is a really good gun. Is it good at long range? Not really. Is it good at mid range? Mid to close range, it's good. And close range is also really good. This weapon, SS rank. If you get it, use it. If you can't get it, then it is what it is. And I hope the developers put this back into the game without disruptor rounds, and I'll be really happy. Look at the sky. It is blue. No, just kidding. There's like a white smoke around. And the reason why I'm thinking about something else is because I have a Spitfire in my hand. You don't need to think about anything to use this gun. Actually, it's so broken that you don't have to think about anything when you use this gun. The Spitfire is so broken. I'll show it to you in a second, okay? First let me kill this thing. I'll show you the Spitfire in all its glory. Yeah, you killed all 3 of them in a single mag. And no, it was not too serious because I didn't think about anything while doing that. That's why I missed some shots, because it doesn't matter if you miss shots with this gun. Like, it literally does not matter shit. If you find this weapon, use it. It's good in close range, hip fire. It is good at close to mid range. It is good at mid range. It sucks at long range, so I don't even waste time trying that out. But yeah, this gun, devastating. It is a care package weapon now, luckily. It was before found on the ground, and it is just an insanely good weapon. 55 in a mag. Beaming people without thinking. You can just do this. You can literally do this, look. You see that? It still killed the enemy. Yeah. So for a new player, this weapon would be good if you can manage to get it. It is SSS rank in my opinion. Yeah, I would say SSS rank. It is above the Alternator and it is above the G7 Scout right now. It is really good. The triple take. One of the most annoying weapons of the season, because everybody, their family, their friends, their ancestors, their relatives, everybody uses this gun right now. I would rate this gun an A+ rank gun. It is really good. It does high damage. It is easy to control. It is good at long range. You can hip fire close range, one shot, like do this. Hit 40 or something like that. You can hit 69s when you aim it in. And you can also use an optic. It doesn't matter which optic you put in this gun, because you can use it at long range, you can use it mid range. Heck, you could even use this weapon at close range. It does not matter in which range you are, you can use this gun. And it does damage. You can literally just put a sniper scope on it, hit at long range. Mid range. Mid to long range. Close to mid range, better said. And close range. 69, 69, 69. Doesn't matter where you are, 69. Headshot damage is 120. Which is enough to break somebody's ass. So, that's basically a triple take. Do you need skill for this gun? Not really. You just need to aim, and when the dot is, that's where the bullet goes. It's literally self-explanatory with this gun. Like, it doesn't have recoil. It's easy to handle. New players can use this gun. You can hip fire with this gun and still kill people with it. Hip fire. That's all I gotta say about this. Those were all the weapons of Apex Legends. How I kind of work with the weapons. Kind of like how I that's why kind of like my own experience with the guns that I basically explained a little bit. But most of the things you learn from just playing the game and just get experience from dying with the guns. Like, use the gun, miss everything, die, respawn, and do it again and again and again and again. And then eventually you'll become better with the gun. Or you just keep on playing rank. That's also a way to do it. And that's it. That's all the weapons. Have a great day, everybody, and peace.